Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. I welcome you, sir, onto the dais. I also invite our distinguished panelist, Mr. Dato Akbar bin Moiduni, President, the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra, Council Member, Government Nominee of the ICSI, and ex-Technical Member, NCLAT. We also have with us Sri Dinesh Kumar A.N., Joint Director, Energy Management Center, Kerala, Department of Power, Government of Kerala, and Ms. Sharmila Gopinath, Corporate Governance Consultant and former Specialist Advisor, Asian Corporate Governance Association. And our moderators for the session are C.S. Rupanjana De and C.S. Ashish Kadoria, I'm really sorry, who are the council members of ICSI. Welcome distinguished panelists and moderators on the dais. May I now request C.S. Ashish Garg, former President ICSI, to please come over the dais and welcome our chair for the session, Sri Gyanesh Kumar Singh, Director General and CEO, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, by presenting him with a planter. Sri Gyanesh Kumar is a civil servant of the 1992 batch. He is the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, which is a think tank under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. Let's welcome Gyaneshwar Kumar Singh for the session. May I now request C.S. Swati Bojak, Secretary Kochi Chapter, to kindly come over the dais to welcome Mr. Dato Akbar bin Moiduni, President, the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrator. Mr. Akbar is the 29th President of the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrator, who was re-elected for a second term in July 2025. And he has also held various leadership roles, including Deputy President, Vice President, and Honorary Secretary. He has been part of the Malaysian Institute Council since 2000 and currently chairs several committees and task forces. We welcome you, sir. I once again request C.S. Ashish Garg to kindly come over the dais to welcome Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra, who is a government nominee, ICSI. Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra is a distinguished fellow member at IICA and currently serves as a government nominee on the Governing Council of ICSI, an independent director at the ICAI Registered Valuers Organization, and professor of practice law and finance at Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. He retired in 2023 as a technical member of NCLAT, Principal Bench. Welcome you, sir. I now request C.S. Ashish Kadoria to kindly welcome Mr. Dinesh Kumar A.N. by presenting him with a planter. Sri Dinesh Kumar A.N. is the Joint Director of Energy Management Center, Kerala, Department of Power, Government of Kerala, and also heads the Division of Energy Efficient Buildings, Small Hydropower Development and Standards and Labeling. He holds an M.Tech degree in Civil Engineering and PGDIM. He is further an Indian Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment Certified Professional under the Indian Green Building Council. We welcome you, sir. May I now request C.S. Rupanjana De, Council Member, to please hand over a small planter and welcome Ms. Sharmila Gopinath. Ms. Sharmila Gopinath has been associated with the Asian Corporate Governance Association since 2005, initially in a full-time role and currently as the part-time research director for India. A seasoned journalist with a background in business writing and editing, she has worked across Hong Kong, New York, and Singapore, specializing in IT, finance, and general business. We welcome you, ma'am. I now request our moderators to kindly take forward the session.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Uh, Good afternoon to all the guest speakers and delegate present here and those connecting virtually for the fourth technical session of the 53rd National Convention of Company Secretaries on the theme Circular Economy, New Perspective and Emerging Role of Company Secretary. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome esteemed chair and speakers for this session. Mr. Gyaneshwar Kumar Singh, Director General and CEO, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, Session Chair. Panelist of the day, Mr. Dato Akbar Moduni, President, the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, Malaysia. Dr. Dinesh Kumar Ayan, Joint Director, Energy Management Center, Department of Power, Government of Kerala. Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra, Central Council Member, Government Nominee ICSI as and ex-technical member NCLAT. Ms. Sharmila Gopinath, Corporate Governance Consultant and former Special Advisor, Indian Asian Corporate Governance Association. And my co-moderator, Central Council Member Rupanjana De. Please welcome all of them with a big round of applause. Friends, Robert Sowan, a British explorer and environmental advocate, has famously said, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Our planet has limited resources, yet we continue to extract raw materials, use them to manufacture products, and then discard them as waste. The linear model is called to take, make, dispose approach, which is clearly unsustainable. Much of this disposed waste is not recycled and instead ends up in landfills or pollutes our environment. But if we replace the dispose with reduce, reuse, recycle, then we shift towards the circular economy model. The model urges us to redefine value creation beyond profits, placing equal emphasis on the well-being of people and the preservation of our planet. It suggests that business and people at large need to adopt practices that lead to responsible consumption and sustainable resource management. Honorable Prime Minister has launched global initiative, Life for the Environment. He said that reduce, reuse and recycle are the concept woven into our life. He stressed the need further sustainable development. As friends, India rushes its journey towards a cleaner and greener future. The transition from a linear to circular economy model is more than a sustainable pledge. It's a strategic transformation. Embracing the principle of circular economy enables businesses to reduce raw material dependency, mitigate operational risk, and elevate broad values in today's sustainable driven market. Practices like remanufacturing and recycling can unlock new revenue streams and demonstrate a company's dedication to innovation and environmental stewardship qualities which resonate deeply with stakeholders. Friends, company secretary are uniquely positioned to embed circular economy principles into corporate strategies, compliance framework, and sustainable disclosures, acting as a crucial link between regulatory expectation, board decisions, and operational execution. Company secretaries can be instrumental in ensuring that circulating transition from intent to action. This evolving landscape opens new avenues for governance, compliance, and strategic oversight. The session aims at focused deliberation upon the concept of circular economy, government initiative, new perspective, opportunities and challenges, expectation from the corporate and emerging role of company secretaries. Against this backdrop, I now request Gyaneshwarji, Session Chairman, for this opening remark. Please, sir.
Good afternoon. So after lunch break, it's a difficult session, but anyway, we'll keep it short. At the outset, I would like to thank Indian ICSI for inviting me, giving me this opportunity, and I feel honored and privileged to be part of this national conference, and topic is Circular Economy, New Perspective and Emerging Role of CS. I think this is the most timely, we can say, the topic, because the whole world is struggling how to deal with emission. And we have carbon neutrality, we have the target of 2070, we have the target, and whole country is working for that. And in that, circular economy has very important role. I will just share the data, why this is important. As of now, 7.2% of the global economy is some way connected with the circular economy. In 2018, it was 9%. So this is a cause of concern that circular economy role is going down, and whole society, company, and the individual, society at large, we have to work together how to achieve the target of carbon emission and how to achieve the target of greenhouse gases, which has been already agreed by the all nations. This topic is very close to me because right now we have ESG, which is implemented for top 1,000 companies, and that is based on BRSR report. And BRSR report, when I was joint secretary, I chaired the report, and there is a connection with Company Secretary Institute, because the report was deliberated, discussed in Delhi ICSI Institute. Many of senior officers, the past presidents, they are present here, and they have contributed immensely. So I feel very close in the sense that today we are discussing circular economy, and it was decided together, ministry and all the stakeholders, in which the Company Secretary Institute has taken a lead. This Company Secretary Institute is important in the sense that gives a forum for around more than 75,000 members, 2 lakh students, and this is a science keeper for the Indian business. When we talk about how we can use this platform for our global emission targets and the target which the country, Honorable Prime Minister has set, where role of circular economy is very important. Honorable Environment Minister has recently, in a meeting, in a conference, he has said that by 2050, when we are looking at the Viksit Bharat 2047, the circular economy will become 2 trillion. And right now, this is just double. We are around 4 point something trillion economy. So much of potential is there for the circular economy, and he has said that this will generate 10 million jobs. You will also be surprised, we are producing annually 62 million tons of annual waste, and we have, this is the cause of action, how to deal with this waste. And there is another good thing, we have to deal with the whole debate of circular economy from the different perspective, waste to wealth. And this is the framework, how this waste can be converted into the wealth, and there is an economic case for that. Circular economy will contribute by 2050 in reduction of 44% of carbon emission. This is also important. Now, since time is short, we have to make opening remarks. I will deal with 2 important issues. From 2026, we are going to have CCTS framework. This is carbon credit trading system, where the polluter will pay. The companies, they have to pay for the carbon emission if it is more than determined level. So that is one way of looking at it. That is a compliance regime. There is another regime that is called offset regime, and offset regime circular economy has very important role. Honorable Prime Minister has given life mission, life for environment, life for circular economy. That is very important, and this is important in the sense that the whole society, whole culture, say that we have cultural roots, and our cultural roots, our Hindu tradition, everything is connected with circular economy. Sometimes we have forgotten our roots. There is a book by Ancient Wisdom for Modern Ignorance. It has been written by Swami B.P. Tripurari. And he says that crisis of modern society and mostly the ecology is related, in essence, is a spiritual crisis. There is a Norwegian philosopher, and he has written about the Hindu philosophy. His name is Arne Naessy. In 1972, he has given a new term that is called deep ecology. And deep ecology is based on all things are interconnected. So we worship everything. We worship our plants, we worship our mountains, we worship all living and non-living being. There is another book by Hinduism and Ecology. This is, title of the book is Intersection of Earth, Sky and Water, and that has been published by Harvard University. Authors are Chappell and Tuckers. So this is important in the sense that now the time has come that it is very important for economic, for waste management, because earlier my fellow speakers has already said what is the role of circular economy, how the world has changed, how the new framework has changed. This framework is no more based on abundance. This framework is based on resource efficiency. And for resource efficiency, when we look for a Viksit Bharat, resource efficiency is very important. And with circular economy, what I have mentioned earlier, Honorable Environment Minister has said 10 million jobs will be created. So what are the challenges? The challenges are we have to work on design. In circular economy, 70% job is on design itself. So R&D is very important. After R&D, what is important is financing. After financing, what is important is education, because as a society, we have to change the mindset that circular economy, when we talk about using, reusing, recycle, it is not bad, it is good for economy. In European Union, a new bill is coming. That bill is called European Union Circular Economy Act that is going to come, and they are going to create a national secondary market for all this kind of a recycled material. And Germany annually produces around 300 billion tons of waste, and they have the Circular Economy Act from 1990s. Japan has very long tradition of having this kind of a Circular Economy Act. There are challenge of regulatory framework because we have fragmented regulation. Half of the things are regulated by Ministry of Environment. Half of the things are now carbon trading will be managed by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power. Solid waste is another challenge that is managed by Ministry of Urban Development. For solid waste, again, the roadmap is public-private partnership, because with private sector, efficiency will come, financing will come. So this is another way of looking at it. So what is required to be done? Required to be done is education. Required to be done is stakeholder consultation. Required to be done is R&D, role of private sector, green energy, green economy. So with that, we have to move forward. There is a new concept what Europe has introduced, and that concept is called some kind of a product passport, where you can claim all kinds of future repairs, all kinds of support from the producers. So we have to think on that. And there is another important thing most of you are aware about is that EPR, Extended Producers Liability. This is very important for circular economy. And right now, 51,000 products are registered, and around 257 lakh tons of plastic and factory waste has been processed, recycled in February 2022. And this is on Central Pollution Board that manages this registry. And there are rules. We have the rules for e-waste, we have rules for plastic, we have rules for all kinds of waste. There are rules, and there is a department in Ministry of Renewable Energy that looks after circular economy. Recently, it has set up in planning. In Niti Aayog also, there is a section dealing with circular economy. the most important challenge for us is how to educate, how to create awareness. I was recently participating in a workshop in Trivandrum, and I was told in this part of country nearby, we have the panchayats are training the women how to use organic compost, and they are training them to composting. So this is a new way of where the government and private sector, they are working together. With that, I will stop my comments on this. We will have further the questions. In the last, before I stop it, I will say that in BRSR, Principle 2 talks about sustainable sourcing, sustainable product, and Principle 6 talks about our restoration and protection of environment. Now the time has come because after carbon emission trading will start, and government has already decided in sectors where the waste management has been given the priority. We have to work together for revisiting some of the principles what has been mentioned in BRSR, because time has changed in 6 years. Lot of things have been changed, and this can be the waste to wealth is now the paradigm. And in that, role of a startup is very important, because they have the technology and they will come up in a big way in using this new framework, using the technology and converting the waste into the wealth, and helping in a great way in recycling the products. And recycling of the product is important in the sense that it is estimated that whatever the target of green energy we have, greenhouse gases we have, CO2, 40% will come from that. And for that, what is required, there is a lot of initiative government has taken, including carbon trading, which is going to start. Whole framework is ready, but there is a requirement of national action plan. And national action plan will not deal with only government. Role of CS is very important, because CS is the bridge between the company, regulator, and society as large. Such a big number, 2 lakhs students are there. They can be the change agents. They can create awareness in society, change of the mindset. They can create some kind of a stakeholder consultation in their own chapters. With that, CS role is very important for circular economy in creating the mindset, creating awareness, and making everyone ready, and helping the startups, because startups have to do a lot of good jobs. They have already started working in the area of our waste management and for achieving the recycling economy. Thank you so much for giving me a chance.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for setting the tone of the session, and for very beautifully explaining the concept of circular economy with live examples. It is now time for all of us to listen to Ms. Sharmila Gopinath, who is the corporate governance consultant and a former specialist advisor, Asian Corporate Governance Association. Since we have paucity of time, I request all the speakers to restrict the initial, address to 5 to 6 minutes max, because we have very important questions coming up, and we'll also like to have some questions from the audience at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to ICSI for inviting me, and thank you for making sure that I'll shorten my speech. I would like to just recap on circular economy. The concept of circular economy, eliminating waste as much as possible, maximizing the use of resources, and prolonging the life cycle of products is not actually a new concept at all. In fact, if you were to think about it, the linear model started during the industrialized revolution and only took off in the 20th century. But prior to that, if you were to go back about 2-3 generations, for us, it would be buying something, using it, and then either fixing it or repurposing it. So when we talk about the circular economy, which is now the buzzword of the moment, it is merely you have to remember that it's not a new trend. It's actually something that has happened for centuries, for that matter. But even as far as 30 years ago, back in Hong Kong, there was a hospital that used to use the wastewater to power its entire air conditioning system. So even though they were the outliers at that moment, you have to remember that such schemes continued to be in play throughout these years. What I would like to state, however, is that circular economy should not be merely about sustainability of the environment. It has to also be about innovation. It has to be, you have to talk about the framework that companies need to innovate, to reduce costs and ensure resource efficiency, especially labor. It's important for companies to think of green product design, investing in R&D, cross-sector collaboration, while the government, both from a national as well as a state level, should support companies in their efforts to boost circularity in their businesses through such policies as the extended producer responsibility and through the single-use plastic ban, the steel scrap recycling policy. But what is of concern to especially the investment community is the fact that while you have these policies and you have pilot projects constantly being pushed forth by companies, you also have a lot of greenwashing that is happening in the marketplace. And what that does is it erodes confidence from consumers, from investors, and it gives, I guess, it leads to distrust. It takes away from investment from companies that are actually doing work, serious work in the circular economy, and put it towards companies that are producing the good story. So I believe that if you want to have proper initiatives and schemes that work, you need to have effective corporate governance practices, which will, because a lack of it is a significant barrier for effectively implementing circularity within an organization and transitioning from the linear model. It leads to lack of clear accountability, insufficient transparency, and inadequate financing, leaving many companies in what I read recently was pilot purgatory, and does not allow of scaling up of circularity throughout an organization, which is why education is critical. Investing in professional training and skill development, with companies needing to educate their workforce and their supply chain on principles such as keeping materials in use as long as possible through strategies such as repair, remanufacturing, recycling, and changing designs for durability and reassembly. In December 2024, there was a paper from the Council on Energy, Environment, and Water, India, and it stated that the country is positioned to become a pioneer on practices that would allow companies to decouple from the egregious practices of extraction, fossil fuel consumption, and waste. But that can only happen when companies are serious about actually being accountable through their transparency, through their transparency in the BRSR, as something that I will talk about later. And I feel that what is lacking is an honesty and desire to look at loopholes that regulators have provided in order to not be honest enough in the marketplace about what is actually happening in the companies. So, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your opening remark. And now I would like to request Mr. Dinesh Kumar to enlighten us with his opening remark.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I take privilege to be here in this International Institute of Company Secretaries India's conference, 53rd conference. And in fact, I was representing my organization. My director who was supposed to be here could not join because of some family emergencies. Actually, I represent the state government's power department, energy management center. Our role in the power sector entirely depends on sustainable energy generation as well as responsible use of energy. That's my key area of expertise away from the CS domain, but it has all relevance as far as CS companies, secretaries, or any industrial or business organization is concerned, because energy is the one thing which it is almost like food. It is required by everyone. That means responsible use of energy is the one thing which I can relate it with circular economy and environmental, social governance framework, which should be looking into by any organization who are developing their own businesses or enterprises as such. My organization, as you said, we are dealing with the Energy Conservation Act related activities in the state. This is, it happens to be in such a way that the state is one front runner as far as energy sector is concerned, be it be in the renewable energy sector or be it be in the energy conservation responsible use concern. Because last 10-15 years, we had been in the energy conservation. As far as energy conservation is concerned, the state of Kerala has been promoting energy conservation and has been the front runner for the last 15 years since the recognition of this energy usage patterns has been done by the government of India. Because here nowadays the key word as far as energy is concerned, people are looking for renewable energy. The energy sector as such is going for renewable energy. The country is going for renewable energy to mitigate the carbon emission that is happening in the world. It is one thing which is clear, we are investing heavily on the renewable energy sector, but we should not forget about responsible use of that energy which we are producing out of these renewable energy installations by itself. Usually sometimes I was hearing about this greenwashing by one of my co-speaker. Sometimes what happens is that the corporate governance is very keen on keeping them heard by external world as green. The green, by means of green, they usually feel that maybe we will go for 100% renewable energy or invest in some renewable energy projects and make us green. But what happens is that behind the image of green energy, renewable energy, the company by itself may be using their energy in a very irresponsible way. I have seen that there are companies which are utilizing their energy most inefficiently, then using renewable energy to offset what they are misusing. Actually, what they should be doing is at least simultaneously they should be looking for reducing their energy usage by going for more sustainable practices if possible. It's mostly possible as that's what India has seen in these years. If you can look in for this perform, achieve, trade programs of the Bureau of Energy Efficiency or anything like that. That's the one thing which I would say is relevant as far as energy is concerned. First, we should be responsible with our consumption. That can lead to whatever is called a circular economy in a larger scale. Thank you.
Can we hear it a bit louder from you, please? Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Dinesh Kumar AN, for your opening remarks. It is now time for us to be enlightened by Dr. Ashok Kumar Misra, who is also Central Council Government nominee in the ICSI, Central Council of ICSI, and a great scholar. So it's always great to hear from you. Please shed light on this concept. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Namaskar, namaskara, namaskaram. Let me tell you, you have already heard. First of all, I am personally thankful to Mr. President, Mr. Shukla. I didn't have the program to come because last 3-4 days is very precious, hard pressed I was. But to refuse Mr. Shukla is a bit difficult job because of his Hindi persuasive power. So आज मैं आप लोगों के समक्ष पेरियार रिवर के बिंदु पर एक कहना चाहूँगा बहुत बड़े मन से कि ये रिवर कितनी पवित्र है. इस पवित्र जगह पर you all have agreed to have your national convention. Periyar River is one of the most famous river of South India. Now you see, I didn't have thought anything. I collected lot of material because when the topic was given to me, but as soon as I have come, so Rupanjana ma'am has already restricted time that now we are late. I told her half an hour late we have started, so you have to give a cushion. Now coming to the topic, Mr. Singh has already explained the perspective of circular economy on the Indian context in the economic sense. Ma'am Gopinath has already illustrated with her views quite elaborately on this thing. Mr. Dinesh Kumar has also explained the concept. I feel for a company secretary, this circular economy is a very powerful concept. Because what you are doing today, you are a part of a India 4 trillion economy. You are providing for the corporate sector full corporate governance guarantee to the government of India. So when you are providing this, what this circular economy will give to the country? This is going to give, rough estimate is $2.5 trillion in the year, by the year 2050. 2050, our GDP will be in the range of 25 to 30 trillion dollars. It will be 10% of the economy. Now, your role will be what at that time? Your role will be, even if without changing any concept, same governance thing will be appearing thereon also. So, what we have to develop, we have to, because sirs have already told the concept a lot on this thing. I don't want to touch on that. I want sisters and brothers to build the capacity. Capacity building for us is a must. It should not happen like IBC, where 15% of the insolvency professionals have so far been penalized. This 15% population is the population working on the program. Either they have either one project or more than one project. So basically capacity building is the purpose. And I think Mr. Shukla has given this concept to all of you to build to at least think of for this concept, when this concept will come, how we will do. I am giving you two examples. One example I will give you in the economic sense, why we have started thinking on circular economy. Let me tell you, more than 15 years back, India does not have much fund. What is circular economy? Circular economy is basically creation of wealth from waste. Now, go to 15 years back. India didn't have much money. We were surrounded by enemy countries in one form or the other. We didn't have fifth generation fighter aircraft, forget fifth, even not 4.5 generation aircraft. How we can fight our such neighbors? So, in order, our aircrafts, life has also expired, because the life of the aircraft is 30 to 35 years, maximum 40. So, to build that, now this waste, a product which was going to be waste, it was upgraded. Upgraded means, I can't tell the technical side, means they will bring at par to, not to that level, but at least near to that level with little cost, hardly 20% cost. So, the government of India at that time itself, with the help of our brilliant engineers, we made all the old fighter aircraft, Jaguar and others, to that level so that we can protect our country. This is in the economic sense I am telling you. And coming back to our earlier old age, when I and Shuklaji could have been born, perhaps at that time we were not have the facility of big corporate hospitals. Maybe that some of us, even I myself was born in a village. What were being done, same Chamain with the language being used, and they were doing everything for us. Now, at that time, old clothes were used for the childs who were born, and that is also a kind of wealth management, means you are managing with limited resources, how you are managing. This concept, or being a researcher, now since a lot of students are there also with me for the research work, I was thinking, when I have heard all the three luminaries on the subject, I was thinking, all the economic concept has come under circular economy. We are thinking of that the production, manufacturers, repairers, they will be accounting till the dead end of that product. Now I am telling you differently. This concept perhaps can be used even in the service sector. Why in service sector? Your every waste should not be allowed to go as a waste. Waste should give us wealth. So now as a company secretary, how you will build your capacity and capability to assess this? Where is the waste? Government has already provided so many paraphernalia from ESG, governance confirmation, compliance, or stakeholder communication. They have covered up you in all the related issues. So my suggestion will be that we must develop a capacity and capability to meet it. And let me tell you, you may be 73,000 or 75,000 members today. Out of that, hardly 12,000 members are in practice. Maybe out of that also only 70 to 75% will be effectively working in this field. You all should go for practice. You can build the nation perhaps in a much better way. You can, instead of becoming, our Honorable Prime Minister is repeatedly mentioning, Narendra Modi ji always mentioning, we should become employer, not employee, because then you can generate wealth. So use this concept of circular economy in that sense. However, in order to complete one thing only, I will be telling you that you will be getting lot of strategic advisory, because you already know that recently we have found in this rules which has e-waste management rule 2022 has come. This has given you a job as a professional. Now, what is the umbrella law for all this waste management? Same Environmental Protection Act, Central Pollution Control, same authority is there under which all these things are coming up. So we have to generate, we have to always keep in mind one thing: manufacturer, producer, refurbishers, recyclers are to be made responsible instead of municipality in the olden days. So you have to generate the concept, think differently. Let me tell you, I have just sitting there, I remembered one thing. In one of the organization, I know one of the top men of the organization always used to start the meeting late. Meeting used to be, all the colleagues of mine were feeling very uncomfortable. So one day I collected cost of delay in holding the meeting. What is the cost to that organization? Friends, it came in crores of rupees. And thereafter, everybody was responsible. That fellow who is to head the meeting will be first present, then others. So in that waste time, I will request all my company secretary, both online and offline, that kindly build your capacity. And at the same time, I request President and all the team members, including secretary, to have more research work and build capacity to all of you. Capacity building is a must, then only we can face this. Assessment will not be your job. Your job is to provide the only 5-6 things, that reduce, reuse, recycle, remove, all these things, how it has come up, how your strategic report can help both to the organization and even to the government. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mishra sir, for your insightful address. And now I am delighted to invite Mr. Dato Akbar, President, the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Secretaries. Friends, he has traveled miles to share his knowledge and experiences with us. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Well, this is the technical session immediately after lunch, and especially after a sumptuous lunch, so it's not an easy task because it's going to be very challenging, and more challenging because we are running short of time, but we will survive, right? So thank you very much. So distinguished chairs, respected panelists and delegates, warm greetings from Malaysia and from the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. A very good afternoon, and I want to thank ICSI for inviting me to be part of your convention, being part of this event and this session, right? And I'll get straight to the point on circular economy as far as the evolving role of company secretaries is concerned. Now, for over a century, our global economy has been linear. We have been take, make, use, dispose. Right? And with the circular economy, by contrast, it's built on regeneration. That is, reduce, reuse, recycle, and redesign. It seeks to decouple growth from resource depletion and to close the loop between production, consumption, and reuse. Now, when we look at ourselves, the first question is, so where do we, as the company secretary and governance professional, fit in, right? My take on this is, our role is to translate purpose into governance. In whatever we do, there's basically that, translating it into governance. Circular transformation cannot succeed without sound governance structures that ensure accountability. However, whatever we've heard now, nothing can succeed without a sound governance structure, which must ensure accountability, compliance, and transparency across the whole of the value chain. The company secretary is the strategic conscience of the board. I want to say that again, because in Malaysia, this is primarily the role of the company secretary, ensuring that circularity becomes embedded in organizational DNA, not just in policy documents. I think we have all evolved from that particular role. Now, from the Malaysian context, this transformation is driven by a robust and expanding regulatory ecosystem. One is the Companies Act, right? Now, the Companies Act in Malaysia has elevated the company secretary's role from administrative to fiduciary and advisory. We ensure directors discharge their statutory and fiduciary duties responsibly, including oversight and sustainability, stakeholder management, and financial integrity, the foundations of circular accountability. Then also in Malaysia, we have the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, right? Well, that act has specifically introduced a specific section, which is Section 17, capital A, which is corporate liability for corruption, shifting responsibility from individuals to organizations. Now, the company secretary plays a very critical role in developing, monitoring, and documenting what we call the adequate procedures under the trust principles of the MACC guidelines, we ensure that the integrity frameworks are built into procurement, supply chain, and partnership decisions. All is essential to circular value systems. Then we have also in Malaysia, which I'm sure is all over, the AMLA, right? It expands our vigilance into financial transparency and beneficial ownership. Now, company secretaries act as the gatekeepers, verifying clients, detecting red flags, and ensuring that circular economy investments, trade flows, and cross-border financing are legitimate and traceable. This strengthens confidence in sustainable finance and green investment. Now, in Malaysia, this has become part of the law, right? And it is enforced, and company secretaries who do not comply, they themselves are equally responsible, right? I wish I have more time to talk about it, but I'll just jump to the next regulator that also looks into the company secretaries, that is the Malaysia Competition Commission, right? That looks into cartel arrangements and so forth, Of course, Malaysia is also guided by the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance, MCGG, that provides an overarching framework for board effectiveness, stakeholder engagement, and ESG integration. Now, company secretaries as advisors, we ensure the board embeds the MCCG practices such as sustainability oversight, risk-based governance, and transparent reporting. In this circular context, this means linking board decisions with measurable ESG and circular economy outcomes from waste reduction to carbon neutrality. Together, these frameworks empower company secretaries in Malaysia to act as ethical custodians and strategic enablers, not merely ensuring compliance, but driving responsible transformation. Now, putting this circular governance into action, so when we connect these Malaysian governance anchors to global circularity, a clear pattern to me emerges. Circular transformation demands strategic board leadership, guided by company secretaries who integrate sustainability KPIs into corporate strategy. Then transparent reporting, which is crucial, through disclosures aligned with ISSB TCFD, and of course GRI, all those frameworks come into play. Then we also have the stakeholder inclusivity, ensuring all voices from investors to communities are part of the circular transformation. Accountability mechanism is equally important, built on anti-corruption, anti-money laundering, and competition law compliances. So in short, governance provides the scaffolding that holds the circular economy together, ensuring it is just not efficient, but also ethical. Touching a little bit on the circular economy as a governance imperative, now globally, the World Economic Forum estimates that a circular transition could unlock about USD 4.5 trillion in value. So in Malaysia, MISA champions this integration through its certified ESG Innovator, we have that, and Chartered Governance Professional programs, equipping members to guide boards on sustainable business models, ESG reporting, and circular economy readiness. We promote board secretary partnership that align circularity with regulatory compliance, ethical conduct, and long-term value creation. Now, looking at MISA and even ICSI, right, I think there's a vast synergy, right, a real potential synergy between MISA and ICSI, which together we can make it really powerful. For instance, developing joint certifications on circular governance and sustainable compliances, because all of us will have different experiences. It's how we pool this experience for the betterment of the profession and eventually elevating ourselves to a different level. And then, of course, we would like to also look into publishing regional policy papers, your experience, our experience. We jointly publish with other nations, right? And of course, for your information, MISA is also a division of the Chartered Governance Institute in UK. Then we also look forward to facilitating the India-ASEAN exchanges, particularly on ESG, AMLA, and anti-corruption governance. And ultimately position both our countries as centers of excellence for governance-led sustainability. So in closing, distinguished delegates here, the circular economy represents not just an environmental necessity, it is a governance revolution. It competes every organization to redefine success, not by how much it extracts, but by how much it regenerates. As company secretaries, we stand at the heart of this transformation. We are the navigators of compliance, the architects of integrity, and the advisors of sustainability. Through our mastery of laws in Malaysia, the Companies Act, the anti-corruption, the AMLA, and so forth, we ensure that the pursuit of profits remain balanced with purpose. So finally, this new circular paradigm, our signature value is clear. We turn compliance into conscience, governance into growth, and sustainability into strategy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dato Akbar. I think that brings us to the end of the initial remarks. So we have a few questions for all, and with the permission of the chair, Mr. Singh, I would like to, if I may, ask you a question to start the question round. So in your opinion, what role can private-public partnerships play in speeding up the shift to a circular economy? Can you cite, I mean, you have in your deliberation already cited a few examples. So on fostering circular innovation and infrastructure development through government collaboration and partnership with the private bodies, and what regulatory changes are needed to foster this conducive environment. So maybe if you can, you have already mentioned some, so if you can just add on to that. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. You have asked what is the role of private sector. First, public-private partnership and regulation. You may be aware that this kind of investment, if we have to generate wealth from the West, it requires 5 to 6 years of investment. And right now, this is a entry barrier. And this kind of investment, mostly people with a startup kind of ecosystem, they are interested. So there is a need of some viability gap funding. Corporates, they have to come. More venture capitalist fund to support this kind of a exercise. So this is one way. And there are good examples, what you have said, the good example like Indore municipality, public-private partnership. They have got the city's 6 years award. They are collecting all the waste and they are converting into energy. Greater Noida also, they have started with the private sector. So biggest challenge for circular economy, if you take the solid waste, is the municipal waste. And for municipal waste throughout the country, lots of experiments are going on. This is a big project with the private sector. Even the Hyderabad have an example. So throughout the country, now there is a focus after 2022. And you have asked for what is the regulatory gap. See, what we have mentioned, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, they have managed so well. Germany, they have just more than 3-4 times of solid waste. They have Central Act for 1990s. They put the emission targets. They put similarly the targets for our recycling waste also, how much you have to do it. Similarly, enforcement is very strong. In India, there are various agencies like Ministry of Environment and Climate Change is looking after our waste, like all kinds of, you will be happy to know that in 2022, 6 rules have come, like e-waste, plastic waste, solid waste, all rules have come. So enforcement is a challenge. Now the EPR is a new concept where the producers and importers, they are responsible for life cycle. So they are supposed to dispose it off also. So this Central Pollution Board is the registry. So board is the registry, but enforcement, greenwashing is a challenge. Greenwashing can be handled if we have what SEBI was talking about, assurances. Since ecosystem is not ready, that's why the assurances has not been put into action. This time is a voluntary. So what is required? Private sector role is there. Regulation, we have, like I just mentioned, this is going to be a big ticket agenda for this country, carbon trading. For carbon trading, now Ministry of Power, Bureau of Efficiency is in charge. Now who will verify how much data they are saying, because trading of carbon is based on some kind of a data verification. So data verification, data integrity, so these are the big challenge. We need a national action plan. What we are talking about, India we have mentioned the data, what we have GDP today, half of the GDP will be created by the circular economy, 10 million employment, and our targets are 44% of emission. So we have to work, all ministries like under Niti Aayog or other. So right now, all ministries are working, but there is a need of central action plan. Niti Aayog can take a lead, and that way we have to some way provide a coordinated efforts. And central registry, because right now what is happening, one of our panelists, they said more focus is on emission, not on circular economy. Both has to be given. This comes under the offset mechanism. So mandatory compliance is one aspect, voluntary is another aspect, and both has to be come together. And last one is the corporates, the role of company secretary. So the corporates, they have to come forward. We had done recently a survey for ESG. ESG is not discussed in the board as much as they feel that it is important. Yeah. So what is important as of now, so company secretaries are sitting here, government has set up a committee, I'm the chairman, some of the members are also here of that committee. Now we are thinking how to incorporate the disclosures related to ESG into the board report. What kind of a framework should be there? Right now there is no way any company is disclosing how they are addressing the challenges of ESG and more particularly
there's
environment.
There's no connection, yes,
yeah.
at the moment. Yeah, thank you very much. So, to sum it up, it was like a lot of opportunities for the company secretaries and scope for new regulation, role of the government, and of course, the society as a whole also. So, I believe my colleague would like to take up the next question.
Okay. My question for ma'am. Ma'am, supply chains are complex and often the biggest source of environmental impact. What strategies should companies adopt to engage suppliers and partners in complying with the circular economy principles across complex value chains? How can company secretaries contribute towards the same, and how do such collaboration drive systematic change?
Well, I think, can you? I think that I addressed this. I think education is really key to everything. It's really important that, one, you collaborate with supply chains or suppliers that are already kind of on the circular economy journey themselves. And if they're not, because they're in India, you have very small businesses that do supplies for major companies. It's up to the companies to actually help them become more educated on circular economy, right? Collaboration is key. Money spent towards educating them is key. And how can company secretaries actually deal with this is, I feel that, you know, we talk about professional development, skill development. You should be actually providing educational material for your suppliers. And frankly, you know, ICSI is known for having good educational material. They're known for brochures, they're known for their workshops, seminars. That is something that is entirely within your bandwidth to be able to deal with. Yeah?
Thank you, ma'am. And my next question would be to you. So, according to reports, India's renewable energy capacity has grown more than 5-fold over the decade. So, the sector is entering its next phase, and what are the core challenges in this phase, and what reforms, according to you, would be required for effective utilization in terms of grid integration and clear energy architecture? If you could shed some light on this.
Thank you for the question, actually. As you said, yes, the renewable energy capacity has gone multifolds from some 35 odd gigawatts to now around 250 gigawatts of electricity capacity. It's called just capacity. Capacity does not deliver directly energy. The energy that comes out of that capacity may be hardly 10% or so. And when you have sometimes you will have this much of capacity fully through, like when you are in a day wherein you have a full blast of sunlight, you have very huge inflow of energy. Then next moment, some part will have some clouds, the whole thing comes down. There's a huge fluctuation which is happening, which do happen regularly in generation of such renewable energy sources like wind or the solar powers. Due to it, that what happens is that you have to keep some of a major part of the load, the base load of energy, electrical energy requirement should be met with something strong, like which has inertia, like maybe hydropower, or I can't say, even now I can get away with the thermal sources of energy even now. It's maybe not even by 2050 or 70, it is possible because the requirement of the base load cannot be addressed by the renewable energy sector. Now, when you have a base load which you plan even at 2070, your base load, you have to keep it running even now. Suddenly you have high ingress of renewable energy sometime. Next moment you don't have energy. That means your grid need to be flexible to address the huge ingress of energy as well as consumption of energy. That means you, when you plan your grid, it should have sufficient flexibility and reliability. Otherwise, what will happen is next, it can go blackout. India is the largest grid in the world. It's like some 5 lakh kilometers, circuit kilometers of transmission lines are connecting whole of India. That means one breakout means the whole of India will collapse. India's grid can collapse. Therefore, stubborn grid, flexibility regulations need to be there. That means when you are, if you are asking on a market perspective, the forecasting, scheduling, all these things we should be very keen about. Every 15 minutes we have to look into what is the current status, how we can address to your current consumption as well. It is a very dynamic process which is a huge challenge. If you say as a corporate governance challenge, I can say that disclosures of what is your requirement and what you are producing, you are planning to produce, is all these things are very critical as far as India's renewable energy generation and capacity is concerned. That's a huge challenge which we had to address. Number one. Number two, now when you have this sort of a flexibility issue, we have to go for some sort of a storage which can suddenly give in energy when it is required, so that we can stop the part of the thermal energy to some extent at least. That means you have to invest in storage as well. The cost involved in generation of renewable energy itself is huge, and again you have to store keep for storage. The corporates which are investing in hugely into this renewable energy sector, they have to again think about this storage as well. That means these are the things which sustainability should be there. There also should be a responsible aspect of maintaining what either status quo or future, as we are talking about 25 trillions of our economy growing. That means your production, your activities are going to be multifold. It is not today's requirement which you have to think about. Even at the end of 2050, what we have to plan it accordingly. That's the biggest challenge I think we are facing. Yes.
Now I have a question for Mishra sir. Sir, effective coordination between regulators, industry, citizens and professionals is essential to build a circular ecosystem. What mechanisms are in place or planned to create a conducive ecosystem for circularity in India?
You see, this aspect, as our Mr. Singh has explained, DG IICA has explained that EPR, that is Extended Producer Responsibility Rules, for various waste streams, including plastic, e-waste, battery waste and waste tires, have come in force. He has already mentioned it. Now the question is coming up whether our institute, ICSI, has given any broad guideline or parameter, because this will come to you to certify that you are following a format, filling up a different thing that management will give. But how you will check up that it is correct? So this aspect is very important for the ICSI, and my request again goes to the Honorable President and Mr. Secretary, ICSI, to look at developing the protocol for this so that our company secretary members tomorrow are not in problems. Because any format, any role when you have been given to you, you have to discharge it in accordance with that rule. We can't say we are technical, non-technical. Now I have found in IBC lot of cases where people have taken opinions. Opinion cannot protect you. It can give you some shelter, guideline, but cannot protect you. This is one aspect. Second is mission life, lifestyle for environment. This promotes sustainable consumption patterns among citizens. Means restrictive features. The concept of lifestyle for environment was introduced by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji at COP26 in Glasgow on 1st November 2021, calling upon the global community of individuals and institutions to drive life as an international mass movement towards mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumption to protect and preserve the environment. Third thing, national policies and action plan. Now, this is one of the key mechanisms for that. What the government has formulated circular economy action plan for 10 waste category. Now, the draft national resource efficiency policy also aims to mainstream resource efficiency across sectors. Now, as far as coordination and collaborative platforms are concerned, interministerial and stakeholder committees are already, some of the places it is in, it has been put in place, but Niti Aayog is again forming several committees for different focus areas. This structure is designed to promote dialogue and partnership, which serve as telling private and public partnership. Now, industry collaboration, platforms like India's Circular Economy Forum and Alliance for Circular Economy Business Action Plan host a dialogue between corporates, startups, and the regulators, which my brother Dinesh Kumar has also spoken. One failure, how much it is going to cost to the nation. Then citizen and community engagement, awareness and behavioral change. Initiatives like Swachh Bharat Mission and Mission Life, Lifestyle for Environment, aim to drive behavioral change and increase citizen awareness about waste segregation, which is happening in almost all apartments, sustainable consumption, and the importance of recycling, integration of informal sector, recognizing the crucial role of informal sector in India's recycling chain, waste to wealth management, which I have already told in my first address. So all these aspects have to be looked into, and my brother company secretary has to be provided appropriate protocol, but through you to the official platform of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mishra ji. And so this is the last question from our side to Mr. Dato Akbar. And you have spoken already about your country and the professionals, governance professionals. So a quick recap, you can say, or quick opinion on what you feel are the new competencies and knowledge areas the governance professionals should focus on to effectively support the circular economy transition, and how has your country's regulatory landscape reshaped the company secretaries' function in this regard? So that's it. If you could shed some light on that.
Right, and thank you for the question. Yeah. Now, I think in answering your question, I want to touch a little bit on the circular economy, right? As far as Malaysia is concerned, the circular economy is accelerating and has gone into a national circular economic roadmap. We have introduced that, right? And the government's initiative is on the Green Technology Master Plan and the My Digital initiatives. Right. Now, technology and innovation, these are the areas that drives resource efficiency, talk about waste reduction and the green growth. So just touching a little bit on some of the experiences that we have or the initiatives that we have undertaken. For one is our national oil company, we call it the Petronas, right? So the Petronas chemical groups, they've come up with a recycling initiative that converts plastic waste into reusable feedstock, creating a circular petrochemical value chain, right? That's one of the main initiatives you have taken. Apart from that, the glove manufacturing, one of the largest companies in the world, is a Malaysian company called the Top Glove. So they have been using water recovery systems, right, and heat energy recapture, which I think has resulted in about 45% reduction in water usage. Now, going into other areas like our experience is the highway operators, right? We have one of the largest operators, the Plus Highway. Now they use AI sensors and recycle asphalt to extend road lifespan while reducing raw material costs. That means they reuse the tar for the highways, right? Reuse it, and I think that has brought a lot of costs down. And also it's environmental savings too, you know. Local councils are also going into this kind of innovation by using IoT-based smart bins and etc. So I think to my personal view is whatever initiatives that the government introduces as far as circular economy and sustainability ESG is concerned, well, it will not really work if the company secretary do not really understand what it is all about and be there to guide the board. To me, that is essential, right? I sit on quite a number of boards as advisors, and I also always realize that the board is good in what they're supposed to do. When it comes to compliances, regulations, and so forth, they're not good. They're not good. So it is the professional, in this case, the company secretary, who has to, number one, understand it, number two, guide the company, number three, ensure compliances. In that way, I think the objectives would be easily achieved, or probably more feedback can be given for improvements in these areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yes.
There is a forum. That forum is called World Circular Economic Forum. This year meeting is there in Brazil. Okay. And who knows, you have started this conference. There is a possibility next year it may be in India. So
Great.
2026, so your convention is well timed. We hope that next year the government is trying that this forum meeting should be there in India. So this kind of a workshop, conferences are well timed. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for informing that. We'll definitely, yeah, we have taken note of it, and thank you for the information. We would definitely. Yeah, sure. Thank you. So that actually brings us to the end of this session. I wish I could ask for questions from the audience, but we are already trespassing into the 5th session. And I really don't, I mean, we had no option because we already started half an hour late. And so our esteemed speakers are here. And whoever has, from the audience has any questions may ask them. But we are definitely benefited a lot by your insightful thoughts in these particular, in a different topic, a new topic, I would say. And I'm very thankful to the entire audience who are present here and lending their ears to this valuable discussion, and they are taking home this important food for thought. Before ending, there is some things must be said, so I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. So, Honorable Prime Minister of India had stated that reduce, reuse and recycle are the concepts woven into our life. The circular economy has been an integral part of our culture and lifestyle, very much so. And so he also introduced the vision of lifestyle for environment and this movement encouraging a lifestyle that is in harmony with the planet. But I would say, as Honorable Prime Minister has rightly mentioned, reuse, recycle, this has definitely been part of our Indian culture for a very long time. As has been, enhanced, stressed upon by most of our speakers, that there is importance of startups, innovators, researchers to take it more seriously now, and rightly so. And we have also discussed about the emerging regulations, the role of the CS, and the global trends, and investment prioritization, greenwashing, and a lot of other things. And I'm sure, like the session has also been recorded for the future use of our members. To end this session, I would just sum this up as we have heard so much about circular economy. I'm sure there's not a seed of doubt in anybody's mind. But one thing that really struck me, it's like it's a shared responsibility. The circular economy is a shared responsibility. We may be the 4th largest economy in the world, but we have to remember that we are the largest country in the world in terms of population. And this is population, people is power. Human resources, one of the biggest, the most important factors of production. And we really can't, ignore that. So people is power, and in this biggest country in the world, all of us have some role to play, and we have shared responsibility in bringing in the circular, in this transition of circular economy. Manufacturers and producers, we have talked about their responsibility. Consumers also have a responsibility. Innovators and startups, we have talked about their responsibilities in this transition. Of course, we have also talked about research and academicians bringing in those research work in front of the people. We have also talked about our role as company secretaries and how we can, apply corporate governance, compliance to those already researched areas in helping this smooth transition. Now, ICSI, being a stakeholder in the economy, has taken this initiative and bringing in this topic and putting a seed of thought, a food for thought for its members. And the people, the members, they have a multiplier effect. I'm sure this is going to, they're going to take a lot from this session today to home, think about it, and gradually also all of us can really contribute to this particular concept. So, and make this a success. So thank you very much once again to each one of you esteemed speakers. And I personally really enjoyed. This is one of my favorite areas. And thanks to everyone here for your patient hearing. And as I mentioned, if there's any question, let us please take it off the dais. Thank you very much.
Sincere thank you to each of our distinguished panelists and to our moderators for sharing your valuable insights and making this session engaging and enriching. Let's give a resounding round of applause to this remarkable panel. May I now request CS Mahesh Shah, former President ICSI, to kindly come over the dais and present a memento to our session chair, Sri Gyaneshwar Kumar Singh, as a token of our gratitude. A big round of applause to our session chair, Sri Gyaneshwar Kumar Singh. May I now request CS Ahlada Rao, former Vice President ICSI, to kindly come over the dais and present a memento to our eminent panelist, Mr. Dato Akbar bin Moiduni. May I now request CS Vivek Kumar, Vice Chairman Kochi Chapter, to kindly come over the dais and hand over a small memento to our esteemed panelist, Dr. Ashok Kumar Mishra. I now request CS Sharath Shashidharan, former Chairman Kochi Chapter, to kindly come over the dais and hand over a memento to Mr. Dinesh Kumar. Calling up CS Nikhil George Pinto, former chairman of Kochi Chapter, to the dais to hand over a small memento to Ms. Sharmila Gopinath. Ladies and gentlemen, once again a huge round of applause to the esteemed panelists. Before we proceed to the special session, I would like to invite you all for a cultural extravaganza that would celebrate the closure of Day 2 of the 53rd National Convention. We will have a soulful rendition by Pandit Sanjeev Abhyankar, who is an internationally acclaimed Hindustani classical musician, a vocalist of Mewati Gharana.